It is the most competitive real estate market in years. Sacramento is seeing houses sell well over asking price, and buyers, they are struggling to keep up. Because of the pandemic changed the way that people work. More and more people from the Bay Area moving here to the Sacramento area, and they continue to work from home.
So in December, a report from Realtor.com named Sacramento as the #1 housing market in the country for 2021, and so far, that report is correct. So new data released by the Sacramento Association of Realtors. This was last week. January shows sales are up nearly 12% from 2020. Of the more than 1,000 sales in January, 84% of homes sold within 30 days of being on the market. The median home price increased 18.1% from this time last year to just over $445,000. So most zip codes in our area, there were fewer single-family home listings this January compared to the same time last year. All of this leading to an imbalance in the market where demand exceeds supply. So joining us now to talk about this are two local real estate experts. And when I mean experts, they are experts. Certified residential appraiser Ryan Lundquist and the Lundquist Appraisal Company, and the realtor Tim Collom of the Tim Collom Realtor Group. Guys, so good to have you back and talk to you about this wild housing market. And just to be totally transparent here, this segment is the brainchild of Tim Collom here, because we were talking yesterday about the housing market, and you said you've never seen anything like this before. Just describe what's happening right now in our region.
Yeah, Nikki, thanks for having us. And it's been ballistic. It's been one of those markets that they ranked us as the #1 city poised for growth in the nation. And we didn't think anything was going to happen. And, we were cruising right along. And last year was a very busy year for us. And then all of a sudden, the market really tightened up with inventory. And there's hardly any houses for sale right now. And sellers are getting these astronomical prices. If houses are priced right, we're seeing multiple offers, and not just multiple offers of 2 or 3 offers. We're seeing 10, 15, 20 offers at a time. And it's one of those times I've never seen in the last 21 years with the market. And I would just tell you, it's an opportunity right now for sellers and buyers. And it's something that we've never seen before.
Yeah, Ryan. I mean, if you're looking to sell your home right now, you're in pretty good shape, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. We right now we only have 3 weeks worth of listings. And so buyers are just starving for property. And, right now, this time last year, we had 8 weeks, and it was low last year to begin with. We already had a housing shortage then, but now it's even worse. And so I think sellers are clearly in the driver's seat, and you have a lot of buyers, unfortunately, where the sellers are asking them to remove the appraisal contingency to say that, hey, no matter what it appraises for, we want you to pay this price. And so it's been tough on buyers to have to sort of navigate a market like this and, figure things out, figure out how to get into contract. There's just profoundly, I would say, excessive demand out there.
Tim, why are we seeing so many people come to the Sacramento area? Is it just we talked about the teleworking and the pandemic really causing people to want to move to maybe a smaller city like Sacramento, but still have the benefits of being in a city?
Sure. I think that there's several factors. I think one being the Bay Area, and everyone's been talking about that, where, companies like Salesforce and Twitter have said, you can work from home now, and people are coming from the Bay Area. We're seeing low interest rates combined with the Sacramento region being ranked #1 in the country. And then we're placed perfectly between Tahoe and the Bay Area. So Sacramento has become that one city that before people would go, I don't know, and now people are really going towards not only downtown and, East Sacramento, Land Park, Curtis Park, but the foothills and the Lake Tahoe region are just on fire right now. And I think that you have this perfect storm of all of these buyers. And like Ryan said, and we talked about it, I called him this week and I said, are you seeing this? And he's seeing it. And I think other real estate agents, where we're getting calls all the time of these real estate agents saying, what do you have coming up? And we've just never seen the scarcity that's been out there. So I think it's a perfect storm, Nikki, of a lot of different things, but mainly the interest rates. The pandemic has obviously made the focus on housing. So you're seeing several factors that definitely would fall into place.
All right, so what goes up must come down. Laws of physics here, or Newton's laws of motion. Ryan, I mean, talk about the cons of this. We talk about supply though, but I mean, is there at some point things are going to kind of bottom out?
So my crystal ball is broken, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would have bought Bitcoin at 3,000. I'd be really rich right now.
Okay.
So, I mean, the thing is that, markets go up and markets go down. That's exactly what markets do. I think sometimes when we talk about real estate, we talk about it as if it's this ever increasing commodity, and that's simply false. And so we are in our 10th year of price growth right now. And for a while, the market was really starting to slow down, less price growth each year. But then this past year, it sped up in a huge way. And I think what we're experiencing right now, I mean, it's not sustainable. We can't have this type of price growth and call it normal. And so right now, I mean, there's incredible demand. People are devouring the market. They're getting into contract. We have more sales this year than last year. But, how long can that keep up? I think that's, just a guess. But I think that if mortgage rates do go up, that should help with softening things a little bit. But, I'm expecting that, this month alone, it looks like we're on track to see, prices go up another 15,000, and that's that's just not something that we can see, month over month and call it normal.
That's incredible. All right, Tim, let's talk about expectations, because you said that you're having, multiple offers and things selling for way over the listing price. So if there's someone watching this segment at home, and I mean, it can be discouraging if you go look at a place and you're like, oh, I have to have this, but you're outbid by someone. I mean, what advice do you have for prospective buyers?
Yeah, for buyers, I think it's having everything lined up and really being patient. I think like Ryan talked about is that there's just so many different properties that come on the market, and then there's not only just 3 to 4 or 5 offers, it's 15 to 20. And I think the challenge is some buyers might give up, but the ones that are persistent, I would say, with writing letters, having an agent that really is persistent, and making sure you hear about the properties the day they come on the market. I think that's one of the most critical parts. But right now, just know that there's probably 10 to 15 people just like you looking for that property. And I think it's like you guys talked about a little bit, it can't last forever. We know that it's going to loosen up at some point, and it's just, you have to be patient. And I think that as a buyer, knowing that you have obviously your financing lined up, and you and your agent are on the same page of when you see the properties, and expect some of these houses will have lines that are out the door, and there's 10 people that are waiting to get in the same property, and they're all trying to leverage. And I think being aggressive with offers is very important, but I also think that you do have to be careful of like waiving all of your contingencies and doing all of these things that aren't what's typical of this type of market. So for me and for our team at House Real Estate, I feel that it's one of those things that we're just really telling people to be patient and hang in there. And at the same time, be very, very diligent on looking for those properties that come available. But we're seeing right now a lot of sellers are pricing right below the market, and we're seeing that things go anywhere from full price all the way up to, we've had 100 to 150,000 over the asking price in some cases, and that's just not a normal thing. I mean, that's not something that we always see. But we're seeing what happened to the Bay Area years back happen in Sacramento, which is such a unique opportunity for everyone.
All right, so you talked about, sellers and being realistic in terms of what they want to set their house on the market for. Ryan, do you think people run the risk right now of being maybe a little bit too greedy because they're like, look, this is a seller's market. You have all these people lining up to want homes. I'm just going to list it for this huge price?
Yeah, no, I definitely see that. I think sometimes sellers are disconnected from the market, and they look and go, the market is so hot that I can command anything I want, but that's really not true. I would still say that even though the market feels like it's on major steroids right now, we have what I would call a price-sensitive market. And so if you are priced incorrectly, you are not going to sell. And so only about 11% of sales last month sold below the list price, okay? And so that number should be about twice for this time of year, twice that. But it just shows that, there are properties that come to the market, even in this incredible roided up market, that aren't going to move. And so I know sellers, I would just say, be realistic, be reasonable. And the good news, I think, for buyers too, is that, only 11% of sales last month were cash. And so you're not competing against everyone from the Bay Area with cash, all right? And so, but just realize that, you just need to bring a strong offer. You can get something accepted. And, just like Tim said, you've got to be patient, and you've got to make sure that you're presenting the best possible offer.
Okay, so this phone right here, this device, people put it in their hands and they think, I'm an expert. I know everything. Our chief meteorologist, Christina Warner, loves when she works really hard on a forecast and someone says, oh, but my weather app says this. She loves it. So I'm going to ask two experts here. Do you ever hear folks say, well, Zillow says, Redfin says, Tim, I'll start with you. How accurate are those apps?
Usually, and we get those words all the time, and Zillow and Redfin, and a lot of these apps that, you know, based on a radius search, they're usually not very accurate at all. And Ryan will tell you, as an appraiser, you know, you have to look at different comps. I think a lot of people have different expectations, but in different neighborhoods, you can vary from a half a mile and be in a completely different situation. So we hear the Zillow comments and different things that are going on. Now, not to say that they're not something that you really want to, you know, look at. And Zillow is providing a lot of different, you know, as far as value and information. But right now, as far as pricing your property, you know, somebody that goes inside of your house, knows every single comp in the area, knows what's going on in the market, is the most accurate assessment, and or it can give you the most accurate assessment. And someone like Ryan, who's an appraiser that's using comps, is good. Now, it's a good barometer to kind of look up how much someone paid for it, what it's going for, all of those things. But at the end of the day, Zillow is not the most reliable by any means, or any of the other companies that are doing it based on some type of digital, you know, radius search just based on comps. You have to go inside of these properties to find out what the value of your home is.
Ryan, I'm sure appraisers like you love Zillow, right?
You know, it's interesting. I always say that, you know, Zillow can't smell if 20 cats live there. And you know, no offense. I mean, if you got 20 cats, that's cool. It's all good. You know, I support that. But the reality is that there's something about the human touch. And I mean, big tech is definitely getting better. And, you know, all these sites are only going to improve over time. But the reality is that just like their website says, that they call themselves a ballpark valuation. But I think the problem is that the public doesn't look at it like that, because the public looks and says, you know, I trust Zillow and I have confidence in Zillow. And so I think that there's a lot of danger there. And so sometimes people get stressed out. You know, buyers will look and go, oh my gosh, am I overpaying for this property because Zillow says it's worth $625,000 and the offer's not, you know, and there's a disconnect between the contract. Or sellers will look and go, I think I can get more because of Zillow. So I'd just say, look to actual similar sales in the neighborhood. Don't get hung up what an online valuation site says. They haven't been in your home. They may or may not be right, but ultimately, like, don't give up on the humans around you too. There's some real insight. There's nothing like working with a professional that knows his or her stuff. And you know, let's not lose sight of that in light of big tech, who is trying to make money off of you.
All right, so the moral of the story is be patient. Have your paperwork ready to go, know the value, trust the experts like we have right here, and not apps on your phone. Always go to the experts. And we are grateful to talk to both of you, Tim Collom, Ryan Lundquist. I'm sure we will be talking about this wild market as we move into 2021. Thank you for your time tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Nikki. We appreciate it.